At dinner, my husband suddenly asked me, "What if I meet someone better than you?" I remained silent for a moment. "Then you should be with her, and we'll get a divorce." He had no idea. I had already seen him flustered, trying to comfort the girl with her reddened eyes, saying, "Don't cry. I'll give you a future." Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. He put down his chopsticks, his expression suddenly turning grim. After half a day, she managed to force out a difficult smile. "Althea, I was just joking." "It wasn't a joke. I know. I have experienced his love. So I know. He truly fell for that girl." During the day at the hospital, the initially impatient doctor instantly became kind upon seeing my report. He lowered his voice to inform me, "Don't be afraid. Your illness hasn't reached the late stage yet. With active treatment, it can be cured." As I was leaving with the diagnosis results in hand, I saw them. Brian's arm was injured. The girl's eyes reddened with heartache. "Why did I meet you so late? That I can't even take care of you properly." Brian fumbled in a fluster. Fresh blood seeped through the newly bandaged arm. He said, "Don't cry. I'll give you a future." As the words left his mouth, he froze. Or was it regret for speaking without thinking? But the girl believed him. Her nose was red as she looked up at him and asked, "Really?" Brian frowned. He didn't say anything. I didn't continue watching the rest of the story. I know Brian's boundaries. While in a marital relationship with me, his body wouldn't cross the line. But the heart, I can't control that. I want to know too. What kind of girl is she? Better than me in his eyes. Found the corresponding person on his phone. I think I need to see it with my own eyes. What kind of girl could so easily shatter my 8-year relationship? We survived the long-distance relationship. We survived the pandemic. Survived the toughest days of poverty. Yet lost to a better girl. I met her at the university. Indeed. Full of youthful energy. At the university, an elderly woman collecting trash was straining to bend over. The woven bag suddenly tore open, scattering empty drink bottles across the ground. A girl in a cream-colored coat quickly ran over and helped the grandmother pick everything up. She assisted all the way, accompanying the elderly woman to her designated place. I'm behind, following like a peeping Tom. Hurried footsteps suddenly approach. A figure swiftly runs in front of me, blocking the view. I look up. Brian spread his arms to shield the girl, his lips trembling. "Althea, it's not her fault. It's not her fault." "Then whose fault is it? Is it mine?" The girl suddenly realized I was behind her and turned around in surprise. After our eyes met, she flusteredly looked away. In the cafe, Brian sat across from me, a trace of pain in his eyes. He said, "Althea, He couldn't go on. I also wanted to know, when this matter was discovered by me, his wife, he would choose to completely break it off with that better girl. Is it time to end it with me?" He opened his mouth, and finally, spoke with difficulty. "Althea, I think I don't love you anymore." I didn't say anything. My body was more honest than I was. It was the first to show signs of emotion. He panicked. "Don't cry." Stared at me blankly for a long time. Just slid the tissue from the table to me. Sighed with relief. "Althea, we've been together since we were 18. 8 years now. I know I'm a jerk. I'm shameless. But Althea, after all this time, my love for you has long turned into familial affection. This is something neither of us can resist." I asked him, "What about her?" Brian remained silent. "Or perhaps in the future, it will deteriorate too. But after all, right now I don't want to deceive you." He raised his eyes. His voice sounded bitter. "I haven't done anything outrageous. If you're willing, we can still be together. But all I can offer you now is responsibility and the time I have left." How should I describe what I felt at that moment? Sadness, or despair. He is but a drowning prisoner, fully aware of his impending death. Yet he keeps his eyes open, awaiting the arrival of death. We face each other in silence. After the silence, I spoke up. "Let's set a time to get divorced." By the time I left the cafe, it was already evening. The golden-red sunset was blindingly bright. On the road outside, someone was lurking furtively. Brian spotted the person at a glance and rushed over. The girl was startled by him, her face instantly turning pale. Brian scolded her. "Camille, what are you doing here? Didn't I tell you to go back to the dorm? You never left." The girl named Camille glanced at me secretly, seemingly with an apologetic look. To Brian, She lowered her head. I was worried about you. His expression softened immediately. Don't overthink it. Suddenly, an indescribable bitterness instantly overwhelmed me. I had thought there was nothing left that could make me feel worse. Stop overthinking. These were his words to me during graduation season, holding me tight. Back then, I cried my eyes red over the impending separation. They all say graduation equals breakup. Who can be certain about a long-distance relationship? He turned around and hugged me in front of the station, saying, Althea, don't overthink it. Once I'm settled, I'll come see you. Same platform. He went north. I went south. In the beginning, I was in a second-tier city. First birthday. He said he would be there, but he was absent. 12:37 a.m. My rented room was knocked on. He rushed towards me, hugged me, panting heavily. He said, I tried my best to hurry, but I'm still late. I later found out that he spent his last penny just to come see me. With no money for a taxi, he had to walk the entire way. At that time, the place I lived was 12 kilometers from the train station. I thought my life could be like this. Though there are regrets, there will be belated fulfillment. Yet, it was still a miscalculation. The second time, it was during the early days of the pandemic's reopening. Our work has finally gained a foothold in our respective regions. I tested positive for COVID. At that time, fever-reducing medicine was scarce throughout the city. In a city where I knew no one, I didn't even have anyone to turn to for help. It hurts. All I remember is how much it hurt at the time. In the dead of night, someone burst through my door, bringing fever-reducing medicine. After the fever broke, he held me in his arms, trembling all over. His face was filled with the lingering fear of having narrowly escaped disaster. He said, Althea, I really thought I was about to lose you. He held me in his arms. Tears fell drop by drop onto my shoulder. He said, when I broke down the door, I really thought you were already dead. He said, I can't bear to go through that feeling again. Althea, I can't lose you. How can I describe how moved I was at that moment? It was as if I had grasped a warmth I had never felt before. Concrete. The golden warmth just lay there, obediently, in the palm of my hand. Later, I got better. He burned, lying in bed, as if he couldn't breathe. But there's only one day left of the holiday. The precious fever-reducing medicine is all gone. He grinned with a grimace. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. I'll resign as soon as I get back. And from now on, I'll be with you. Love overwhelmed me at that moment, tears streaming down my face. I grabbed his hand. Brian, don't you resign. I'll be the one to quit. He had worked so hard to pass that civil service exam. How could you quit for me? Later, his fever subsided. I also packed up all my belongings in City A. The moment I stepped out the door, I asked him, if I go with you and you betray me, what then? A smile played at the corners of his lips. Althea, don't overthink it. He said, I love you, and I will love you for the rest of my life. I actually knew it. Promises are only true the moment they are spoken. Yet, I still believed. To endure hardship gladly. Brian came home at night. He stood at the door and looked at me quietly for a long time. Althea, the house is yours. I'm moving out. I said, okay. 7 years of dating. 1 year of marriage. Over 8 years. Every single item in the room was something we'd acquired together for love. Brian silently packed a few clothes. Look at me suddenly. Althea, why have you lost weight? Why have you lost weight? Because I have cancer and my body is weak. Because every day you look preoccupied, unable to sleep or eat peacefully. Because I sensed your hesitation, losing all appetite. But what can I say? Using moral coercion to keep Brian by my side, torturing each other. It's meaningless now. In the end, I turned my head away. Hurry up and pack your things. Don't stay in my sight. Brian looked somewhat dejected, sighed, and went into the study to take his belongings. After passing by me again, his expression was wistful. Althea, I still consider you my closest family. He asked me, can we still keep in touch in the future? I looked at him and nodded calmly. Go register tomorrow. There's a 30-day cooling-off period. You can still contact me twice. He stared at me and let out a bitter laugh. You haven't changed at all. Still so heartless. Before the front door closed, he turned to look at me, a flicker of struggle flashing in his eyes. Althea, your home isn't here. If there's anything I can help with, you're still welcome to contact me anytime. He paused, then added, Camille is a good girl. She won't mind. I didn't respond. A minute later, the door was closed. Clearly, I was still alone at home. But after he came in and left, it suddenly felt half empty. The feeling of absence weighs heavily in one's chest, aching with a dull pain. This night, I took triple the dose of sleeping pills. The time Brian and I agreed on was 9 in the morning. I completed the divorce registration, and in the afternoon, I should go to handle the hospitalization procedures. I gathered the documents needed for the divorce and packed the luggage required for the hospital stay. In the study, there are still my medical examination reports. I opened the drawer. Nothing at all. I snapped awake. My angiography report that was here just yesterday. The only one who could have taken it. Brian. 8:50 a.m. I arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau early. He got there before me. Stepping out of the car, looking somewhat haggard. In silence, we entered the government service hall. 8 years of relationship. A flimsy piece of paper, stamped with a seal, and it could all be declared over. As I turned to leave, Brian called out to me, hesitating as if wanting to say something. Althea. He seemed reluctant. If you're feeling really sad, I can. What about Camille? I asked the crucial question. Brian remained silent. I smiled calmly. Let's end it here. Brian caught up and said, Althea, you knew it all along, didn't you? I didn't have time to respond. A young girl ran up to the doorway, looking at me timidly. After biting her lip for a while, she spoke softly. Althea, I'm sorry. It was us. I didn't wait for her to finish speaking and turn to leave. They all knew it was wrong. Then why still do it? Registered for hospitalization. The doctor scheduled the surgery for 5 days later. The cancer surgery requires a signature from an immediate family member. It seems I don't have anyone else. Only City A remains. A mother I rarely keep in touch with. The phone had just rung when it was quickly answered on the other end. Before I could speak, she started complaining. You wretched child. It's been so long since you last called. Your uncle keeps saying he wants you home for the new year. How many years has it been since you came back? Somehow, my voice suddenly caught in my throat. Mom. Instantly, the other end fell silent. Suppressing my emotions, I finally spoke. Can you come to City B? I'll cover the flight ticket. Why should I go? It's almost New Year's, and tickets are ridiculously expensive. You'd be better off spending that money on good liquor for your uncle. Mom, I have cancer. There was a loud clatter on the other end of the phone. After a long rustling sound, my mom's voice finally came through. What's wrong with you? Brian, where is he? I said, I got divorced. My mother stayed silent on the phone for a long time. I guess she probably opened her mouth in shock. A long time passed. So long that I leaned against the headboard, lost in a daze. Suddenly, I heard uncontrollable sobbing coming from the phone. Where are you? I'm coming over right now. Even as she cried, she kept scolding me. Why wouldn't you listen to your uncle? Back then, when we tried to arrange a local marriage for you, you just wouldn't agree. You stubborn child. You stubborn child. I suddenly laughed. Mom, don't cry. I'm fine. It's early stage cancer. The doctor said I can be cured. My mom booked the earliest flight ticket. Early stage lung cancer. Normally, there shouldn't be any obvious symptoms. Yet when I lie down, drowsy and on the verge of sleep, I feel a dull ache in my chest. Sleeping until groggy and disoriented. I seem to recall my freshman year, when my mom went out late at night to earn money. Uncle was in the living room, drinking with a few of his friends. After they had too much to drink, someone knocked on my door. He called out to me with a laugh. Althea, you're a grown girl now. Let Jason have a feel. That night, I cracked his head open with the water jug by the bed and ran away from that house. On that cold, bleak night, I had nowhere to go. I found my mom in the back kitchen of a hot pot restaurant. She pulled me aside and just cried. She said, Child, don't blame your Jason. That night, I left, returned to the university in the provincial capital, and it was already early morning when I got off the train. Encountered a few drunk students. From afar, they whistled at me. It was that day when I met Brian, who was working part-time to support his studies. He was hurrying back to his dorm on the road. I quickly ran up and grabbed him. Honey, wait for me. He turned around in astonishment. When my gaze fell upon those drunkards, understanding dawned, and he grasped my hand in return. He said, Come on, let me take you back to your dorm. Sweetheart, I've always felt that meeting him that night was the only stroke of luck in my misfortune. Later, he told me, Althea, my name is Brian, born to remember you. After speaking, he asked with surprise and doubt, did your family give you this name also as a wish for your peace and happiness? I told him, no, my mother said, since there was a girl first, then a boy, let's just call it a good word. That day, Brian looked at me silently for a long time. His eyes were full of heartache. At that point, my dream ended. The phone vibrated with an urgent incoming call. When answered, it was Brian's trembling voice shouting, Althea, where are you? What kind of CT scan is this? What do you mean by considering lung cancer? He was shouting on the phone, losing control of his emotions. I, on the other hand, zoned out. I don't know how long he had been breaking down on the other end before I snapped back to attention. In a soft tone, what does it have to do with you? His voice faltered. Then it turned hoarse, lowering as he coaxed gently, just like in previous years. Althea, where are you? Let me come find you. Okay, I thought about it. Just tell him, don't worry about me dying. In 30 days, I'll be there on time. He suddenly choked up. Althea, you're really sick. Are you trying to carve out my heart? When have I ever gouged out his heart? Instead, it was me whose heart he took long ago. Took it clean away. My mother arrived the next afternoon. She brought nothing with her. Her eyes swollen. This woman, who had never traveled far in her life, stumbled her way to my hospital room. Damn kid. How could you do this? I laughed. Mom, you haven't eaten yet, have you? She reached out to hit me, but it didn't seem to hurt. Still cursing under her breath. A man in his late 20s heading towards 30, yet can't even take care of himself, only causing trouble for the family. You Jason wouldn't even get a hot meal without me. Her curses dissolved into sobs. That damned Brian. Didn't he promise to treat you well for a lifetime? Outside my hospital room, it was at this moment that someone burst in. He was panting heavily, and when he saw me, his eyes instantly reddened. He took 2 running steps forward, then stopped abruptly, standing still, fists trembling. You're sick. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't understand. What good would telling you do? Brian couldn't continue. I guess he meant to say, if he knew I was sick, he wouldn't have chosen to leave at this time. I closed my eyes wearily. Go away. Stay away from me. I heard the man sobbing. Then came the rapid footsteps and the crisp smack that followed. I opened my eyes. Brian had already been struck. His head turned to the side. Brian, are you even human? I handed you my perfectly fine child. How could you guarantee this? You promised me my child would have a lifetime of happiness. Is she happy? I'm asking you. Is she so happy that she's alone in the hospital for cancer surgery? My mother's body trembled, her voice growing shrill. Brian clenched his fists tightly, speechless. After a long pause, he finally spoke hoarsely. It's me. I'm sorry, Althea. Get out. My mom scolded him fiercely, but in the end, she didn't manage to drive him away. The tall man, with reddened eyes, stubbornly insisted on staying and refused to leave. He said to my mom, Mom, the divorce papers haven't been finalized yet. Althea and I are still legally married. I wanted to tell him not to call my mother Mom, but a sharp pain shot through my chest and abdomen. I couldn't speak. Preoperative examination. After reviewing the report, the doctor asked, who is the family member? Please come out for a moment. My mother instinctively started to walk out, but after taking 2 steps, she suddenly stopped. His already not straight back seemed to hunch even lower as he looked helplessly at Brian. She opened her mouth. Brian, you go. She ran back and sat beside me, keeping far from the door, yet instinctively leaning her body forward, trying to hear something. Outside, it was quiet. I must have fallen asleep, because I only saw Brian when he came back. The lowered hand was clenched tightly, trembling slightly. I know him better than anyone. She used to understand him best. She knew that meant his emotions were fluctuating violently, and he had to suppress them forcefully, even though my mom had already shown complete and utter hatred towards him. Still, I ran over and grabbed him. What did the doctor say? Nothing serious, Mom. Just some pre-surgery instructions. My mother was at a complete loss, could only nod blankly. Actually, it's just a minor surgery. Just making an incision in the lung to remove the cancer cells. That's all. But they all seemed extremely nervous. afraid that I might die. I probably won't die. Probably. The day before the surgery, I saw Camille again. My mom didn't know her, thinking she was just a close friend of mine. She brought pig lung soup. I heard she secretly stewed it in the dorm, while my mom was out. She also sent Brian away, stared at me blankly. Sister Althea, Brian and I haven't done anything up to now. She asked me, can you get better? I'm willing to find a boyfriend at university right away, to stay far away from your family. As she spoke, she bit her lip hard. She said, Althea, I'm sorry, I hurt you. I frowned. I don't want to see you. Her face turned pale. Looks like she's about to cry, but stubbornly holds it back. She bows and still says sorry, wipes her face, pretends nothing's wrong, pushes the door open and leaves. How annoying. I have cancer, but it's in the early stages. One by one, it all feels like I'm going to die. Brian pushed the door open and walked in, silently taking away the bowl of pork lung soup. You must abstain from food and water. He paused. Camille actually knows, but she still wants to do something. A sudden pain surged in my chest for no reason. I frowned and coughed. Can you shut up? He fell silent, packed up his things and softly coaxed me. Althea, you'll be fine. It's my fault for losing sight of what's right outside of marriage. From now on, I'll never make such inappropriate jokes with you again. I turned my head away, looking out the window. The view was beautiful. Camille, she really is a wonderful girl. Perhaps she doesn't even remember it herself. Before being diagnosed with lung cancer, I was admitted to the hospital with a high fever. At that time Brian was on a business trip out of town. Dazed and alone, I bumped into her in the hospital and nearly fainted. The little girl has a kind heart. She immediately held on to me, seeing that I had no one to accompany me. She helped me the whole time. She didn't leave until I got the fever-reducing injection. She doesn't even remember it herself. To express my gratitude, I added her on IG. Every day on her social media feed, I can see her posting love confessions about her secret crush. She and Brian still haven't held hands to this day. I know. I also know that she is indeed a better girl than me. A loving family will nurture her into a gentle, kind, and confident girl. She is not like me, extreme, cold, and heartless. I trust no one, except Brian. Before the surgery, a catheter needs to be inserted for puncture localization. It really hurts. I was in so much pain I couldn't even scream. And then I saw my mom, biting her own arm and crying silently. Sigh. She really has grown old. If I can get through this surgery smoothly, I think I won't hold any grudges against her anymore. I put on the sterile gown. I was wheeled into the operating room. As the metal door closed, I heard my mother's uncontrollable sobbing. The anesthesia was administered, and the blinding surgical lights shone down. I held on to the last shred of consciousness, pleading, can you stitch me up nicely? I want to live a little more beautifully. Surgery. It's a very, very long sleep. There seems to be nothing in this world worth my attachment, but I still want to live. Fortunately, I still got off that operating table. When I opened my eyes, I was still in a daze. My mother had already grabbed my hand. Sweetheart, how do you feel? Her eyes were brimming with tears. I wanted to cough, but a dull pain swelled in my chest. I held it back, suppressing the cough. I'm fine. I sleep without day or night. I don't remember how long it's been. Camille came again, bringing cooked millet porridge. She didn't dare to look at me, just put down the thickly cooked porridge and left. To be honest, it smells delicious, but I don't want to eat it. Brian, seeing that I had no intention of eating, silently moved it further away. Althea, let me go home and make soup for you. Okay. My throat felt parched as I turned to look at him. I don't need your things either. His expression revealed anguish, only stubbornly guarding me. My mother secretly told me, child, he hasn't made any real mistakes. Just forgive him. I shook my head. I'd rather die than become his widow. My mother stared at me blankly for a long time, secretly wiping tears. Do as you please. Your mother can't control you. Anyway, in your generation, it's not like our time when divorced parents would bring shame upon their children. Yes, Brian did not physically cheat, or some might say they admire his honesty. He just fell out of love. But in this marriage, his lack of love isn't about the love fading away. It's about being transferred to another woman. How could a marriage that's already dead possibly come back to life? At the door, Brian walked in with reddened eyes. Sitting beside me, staring intently. Althea, you'll get better. My mom entered the room. Seeing the cooked rice porridge, she scooped a bowl and handed it to me. Child, you must eat even if you don't want to. You're truly in a state of weakened vitality. I dodged the spoon she brought towards me. My mother's eyes reddened. Child, are you still feeling so unwell? I wanted to say, I'm not unwell. Yet she shoved that spoonful of porridge into my mouth without listening. Slippery, with unique sweetness. After the surgery, need to pat the phlegm every day. My mom's hand strength isn't enough. My back was swollen from all the tapping, but it didn't have much effect. Brian took over the task. He helped me with the tapping every day. On the 4th day after the surgery, he suddenly made the suggestion while trembling. Althea, let's not get divorced. Brian, I said seriously, looking at him, is this because you can't bear the guilt in your heart? He awkwardly averted his gaze. I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Althea, my future might involve taking a lot of medicine, spending a lot of money, and requiring a great deal of effort. He suddenly grabbed my hand, gripping it tightly. I know all of it. But I don't regret it. But I don't want to give you this chance. I lowered my gaze, staring at his knuckles where veins protruded. You know what? Even if I turned into a star, I wouldn't want to shine on you. He abruptly let go of my hand, as if drained of all strength. He stood frozen in place. Do you really hate me that much? I couldn't help but tear up. Hate. When would I have time to hate him? I just want to live my life well. None of them would say anything, but I noticed the doctor would take my family members outside every time after checking on me. Several patients who had tumor surgeries around the same time as me have already been discharged. Only I and a young girl in the adjacent bed remain here. She has stomach cancer, 23 years old, even younger than me. Chemotherapy had left her eyes so swollen she couldn't see her pupils, and all her hair had fallen out. During the day, she would tell me, Sister, we must believe in miracles. Yet at night, she would toss and turn in pain. When there were fewer people in the ward, she said again, it feels like I've walked through the world once, and in the end, only my exhausted parents will remember me. I was on the verge of breaking down in the hospital. The hospital informed me that I could prepare to be discharged the next day. The little girl looked envious and said, I want to go out too. I held her hand. You'll be out soon too. At night, the heart monitor alarm blared. All the doctors on duty rushed over for emergency treatment. She was taken out. Until the next day, I had packed my things to be discharged from the hospital. Seeing the family members of the neighboring bed return, silently packing their belongings. No one spoke. Where is she? I asked. The family member glanced at me, forcing a smile. Our little one has become a star. A star. Such a distant yet intimate word. I froze in place. Someone instantly wrapped their arm around my shoulder. Brian said with reddened eyes, Althea, you won't be like this. You'll stay healthy. I nodded. I won't be like this. I'm already better. In good health. Brian drove home. He didn't bring back what he took. But as for the person, no matter what was said, they still came inside together. I'll sleep on the floor. Just the floor is fine. Late at night, all was quiet. I was woken up by a cough. He rushed over from the ground and skillfully patted my back. Suddenly, a sentence popped out. When you're better, I'll take you on a trip. I looked at him in astonishment. Before getting married, I had planned many trips, but they were put on hold because I didn't have the money before. Later, Brian was busy. He had no time. Brian looked at her tenderly, coaxing softly. I've taken leave from work. I'll accompany you wherever you want to go. For some reason, my heart ached with a swelling, itching pain that followed the sensation in my chest. I turned my face away. For more days, he froze, only to feel panicked after realizing it. There are still 4 days left until the cooling off period expires. He grabbed me in confusion. Althea, don't go. I've changed my mind. I took a deep breath. Don't make me take this to court. It'll be embarrassing for everyone. His face paled as he pleaded. Althea, I don't want the hassle. Brian, if you truly want to make amends, don't force me into legal action. His body trembled. Unbelievable. I closed my eyes. So tired. My mom made the only delicious food she's ever cooked in her life for me. Egg fried rice. The reason is, my damn biological father loved eating them. Me too. But after she married Jason, she never made them again. That man didn't like eggs. She's out of practice. She messed up all 3 attempts. Either there's too much salt, or the eggs are fried to a nauseating fishy taste. She sighs in the kitchen. I hear her phone ringing. An old-fashioned phone. Very loud. The person on the phone shouted, "Old lady, why aren't you back yet? Something's happened to your old Wang. He got drunk and was in a car accident. He's in the hospital now, and we don't know if he'll make it." Through the kitchen glass, my mother turned around, and I saw her wipe her face. Her voice rose sharply. "What? I can't hear you. The signal's bad." She angrily turned off her phone, her hands trembling. Her entire life, since marrying Jason, she had obeyed his every word, never leaving his side for more than a day. I've always thought she was an older version of a love-struck fool. It suddenly dawned on me. I realized I don't actually resent her anymore. My mom was in the kitchen, her back turned to me, peeling onion leaves in her hands. "Mom," I called out to her. She tossed the scallion leaves aside. "Stop calling. I'll stir-fry a fresh batch right away." "You brat. So picky. What's the rush?" It seemed like ages since she'd last scolded me as a damn kid. She deliberately avoided using the word death. She refused to turn around and let me see her face. I said, "Mom, you should go back now." Her movements froze, suddenly turned back to me, grinning an especially ugly smile. "I'm not going back. Don't listen to their bullshit. I'm going to enjoy life in City B." As her words fell, she suddenly covered her face again, dashed into the secondary bedroom and shut the door. Inside that door, it was utterly silent. Not a single sound escaped from within. I suddenly looked up, staring at the ceiling. "Don't cry. Don't cry. Althea, don't cry." Civil Affairs Bureau. The staff probably noticed something was off about me while printing the documents. Amidst the sound of the machine, they stole quite a few glances at me. I smiled. My cracked lips ached with dryness. I wasn't forced. I'm divorcing voluntarily. The staff member glanced again at Brian, speaking with deep concern. "Young lady, we can all live well without anyone. Be more optimistic. Be kind to yourself." I could only smile. "Okay. Marriage certificate. Replaced with a divorce certificate. I'm going home." But Brian still stubbornly follows me. I stop at the entrance of the building. "Stop following me." His voice was rough. "Althea, don't send me away. I beg you." I said, "But this is no longer your home." Brian reddened his eyes. "It was me. I ruined my own home. But can I just follow you? I'll just watch from afar. I won't do anything." My chest churned. Air rushed up my windpipe, and I coughed until my throat was filled with the taste of iron. He quickly patted my back. I pushed his hand away. "Broken things stay broken. No amount of glue can make them whole again. Just leave, and spare me the disgust." "Althea," he called out to me, but my lips could only tremble weakly, unable to utter a word. I pulled open the building's entrance door, and slammed it shut with force. I was completely separated from him by the iron gate. My mother never went out. She couldn't find her way in the city. Yet, from time to time, she would magically produce all sorts of my favorite treats at home. Vegetables, fruits, all are fresh. I look down from the window, see Brian's hurried footsteps every day. What's the point? I wouldn't be grateful anyway. My mom kept nagging in my ear. "Brian is actually not that bad. He didn't do anything wrong to you. He just told the truth." People from our generation, who didn't go through the same. "You little rascal." One should cherish their blessings. Occasionally, I'd catch glimpses of her cooking. That food was definitely not enough for two people. She stealthily opened the security door to deliver the food, then brought back the empty dishes and utensils over 10 minutes later. Sigh. Brian was in the hallway during the day. At night after I fall asleep, my mom secretly lets it in again, curled up and asleep on the sofa. Actually, I cough all night and can hardly sleep. Yet they both really think I don't know. I never thought it would happen. The word, relapse, came so quickly. I coughed up a lot of blood at night and was rushed to the hospital. My mom cried uncontrollably, gasping for breath. The little old lady, barely 50, seemed to have aged so much in just these few days. I held her hand, wanting to tell her, "Mom, don't cry. I just learned that cancer cells in the lungs can spread extremely rapidly. I also just found out that doctors often downplay the severity of the condition to patients by a great deal, in order to maintain a positive mindset. I just realized that chemotherapy is essentially intravenous infusion. During the infusion, I felt extremely nauseous. I would retch, then see my mother with her back turned to me, secretly wiping away her tears. So fast. This thing called a tumor wouldn't even give me time to react. From my bed, I saw a man stagger into my room, muttering under his breath, Althea, Althea. Postscript. Another life was lost beyond saving in the hospital. A man found notes in her phone. October 7th. I'm sick, but Brian isn't here, so I had to go to the hospital alone. But today, a kind girl helped me out. She was so sweet. May good people live in peace. October 8th. Brian is finally coming home today. He will take me to get a shot. I knew I wasn't alone. I have the best Brian in the world. October 9th. I just found out today. Turns out that young girl was Brian's intern. If possible, could you ask him to lend a hand? The notes stopped here for several days. By the time of the next update, it was already October 21st. So, she likes him too. October 22nd. On the balcony, I saw Brian smoking all night. He never smokes. Is it because of that girl? Or, because of me? October 29th. Today, I was diagnosed with cancer at the hospital. The doctor asked me, where are your family members? I think Brian is probably busy. The doctor's Adam's apple bobbed several times before he lowered his voice to tell me, don't be afraid. For early-stage lung cancer like yours, with active treatment, there's a high probability of a cure. My mind went blank with a buzzing sound. I'm only 26 years old. I've never smoked or drank alcohol. How could it be cancer? I don't remember how I walked out of the hospital. I only remember the moment I stepped out of the hospital. I saw Brian, looking at that girl with heartache. He said, don't cry. I'll give you a future. At night he asked me, what if I meet a girl who's better than you? My God, it feels like the sky is falling. December 24th. Turns out, medically, there's another term called relapse. January 1st. I think I'm about to become a star too, but I haven't lived enough yet. I just forgave my mom. She hasn't returned to Cydia yet. That Jason is no good. My mom didn't go back to take care of him, and I'm really worried he might hit her. She is so old. If even the only daughter in the world were to become a star, what should she do? January 2nd. I dreamed of Brian again today. In the dream, I died, truly became a star, then follow him every night, shine upon him. But I truly haven't forgiven him. Even if I were to become a star, I wouldn't want to shine upon him. In the train station, the little old lady walked with trembling steps. There was a young man behind her, dressed entirely in black, who stepped forward to grab her. Mom, even if you're going back, take a plane. I'll see you off. The stubborn little old lady shook him off. No need to see me off. Without Althea, the two of us would have no connection at all. The man's eyes turned red. Mom, but there is Althea. In this world there is Althea. The little old lady cried, like a child. My Althea. She's gone. I want to take her home. The train station was bustling with people coming and going. Many couldn't help but glance their way. The little old woman wiped away her tears, clutching her luggage. She walked step by step into the station. Staggering steps. A solitary figure. Alone. None of these passers-by knew. Her Althea is gone. How could Althea have been born in her womb? Throughout life, there was no Althea. City A. The rainy season has come again. The little old woman stumbled her way up the mountain, but she saw a child's grave already had a man standing before it. Though he seemed rather short, she had never seen this person before. The little old woman rushed over. Young man, are you at the wrong grave? This is my child's. The young man had red eyes. That's right, Auntie. I also came by to see you. The little old lady sized him up. During the day at the hospital, short hair, hoodie and sweatpants, clean and delicate. The child supported her as the child lit incense. He then knelt and lit 3 sticks of incense himself before helping her down the mountain. The little old lady looked up. Young man, who are you? You should tell the child, otherwise she won't know who's come to visit her. The young man took out a rolled-up envelope from his pocket and secretly slipped it into the old lady's vegetable basket. Auntie, my name is Camille. I'm a girl. The little old lady nodded. Though she couldn't remember, there was a name. The child would know. Her vision had already blurred. A rough hand held hers. Voice slightly choked. All these years, the only ones who still remember her are you and me.